I love you. I thought immediately you'll say, I love you too. Then I can say, I love you 3, I love you 4 and all that. One of the beautiful aspects about Jesus is, when he says you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, he doesn't separate God from humanity. He doesn't separate you from himself. He just says, I love you. All this commandment is nothing but I love you. And why I said I love you is because here a lawyer comes to question Jesus. And I also, a lawyer, have to say I love you. A lawyer will always love his clients. Why? Because his entire life and his business is with the clients. And how important is a lawyer is only when we come to know whether he is saving a single person or he is saving the entire clan of that family. You know, the difference between a lawyer and a doctor is, a doctor, if he is not efficient, not good enough, he can kill only one person. He can kill that patient. Whereas a lawyer, if he is not a good lawyer, he will kill the entire family because they will lose everything because of his misdeed. And that is why we see the lawyer coming to question Jesus about love. Because he knows the entire law. And if he knows the entire law, why to come and ask, what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus very simplifies it and says, love the Lord your God, love your neighbor. And this is what it is. When Jesus says this, love your neighbor, he demoralizes them. And when I said I love you, suddenly you will get demoralized. You know, all your morals also go off. My father is saying, this father has no other work. Is he citing someone, light-marrowing someone in this congregation or in this community? You know, so many things go. Therefore, the word I love you demoralizes a person. But for me, in a way, I am conquering you and saying, I have forgiven you, I love you. And therefore, I in a way paralyze you by my very word of love. But the expression and my actions later on follow. My attitude and my behavior later on follows. That is important. My attitude and my behavior later on follows is what we seen in the first reading to Ruth, a great example of unconditional love. She lost her husband, she became a widow, and she didn't give up. She was a very pretty, beautiful lady, but still she didn't give up. She went with her mother-in-law. Your people are my people, your God are my God, your land is my land. And therefore you find that she has surrendered herself. And that is because she must have found something great in her mother-in-law. And therefore, we find something great in a person when we know that person loves unconditionally. Today, my dear friends, when Jesus says about the greatest commandment is nothing but the unconditional love that he demands from each and every one of us. Because he came down for us. He knows that he's going to die for us. And therefore he told his disciples, he told all these Pharisees and Sadducees, it is love. And therefore it will always be love that will always rule our lives as followers of Christ.